Welcome to the Bad Cats Club, where it is Halloween month. Yesterday's episode was a simple rundown on what's coming up, and today's episode we'll be talking about the invites. And if you haven't sent them out already, you need to get going on that. Like right now. A lot of people choose to use email or Facebook to send out their invites, and there are definitely benefits to that, like instant confirmation or decline, and the ability to let your guests see who else is coming. But here I'll be focusing mainly on physical invites, because, well, they're more fun, really. The first thing you need to do is to make sure that the information on your invites is clear and complete. What you need to include here is the date and the weekday, the time, the address, that it is a Halloween party, who's hosting, and if you're planning dinner or something else where you really need to know how many people are coming, RSVP information, by which they need to RSVP, and also how to RSVP, like if they text you or call you. What the dress code is, and here is also a good place to include if you're going to have a contest or a special activity, which is a good way to make sure that your guests dress up. And at the bottom, just in case, always include your phone number. People are gonna get lost on their way to the party, or they're gonna have stupid questions like, do I bring my own potato salad? So far your invite looks a little like this, and well, it needs a little something, and you might want to spell check that. Now, the invite you send out should reflect the kind of party you're having. If you're just having a carefree get-together while everyone's getting drunk and having fun, then your invite might as well look like this. But if you want to go hardcore and make it like a really serious evening devoted to horror and fight, well, this is not the way to go. You're gonna want to do something like this. There are a lot of internet sites who can help you with your invites if you're out there in time. But if you're willing to pony up the cash, they will not only ship them to you overnight, but some of them will also ship them out to your guests for you. Convenient, yes. Expensive, yes. And also, if you're a do-it-yourself kind of a person, this might not be for you. There are very many different ways to get the invites to look the way you want. You can dye paper or stress it and make it look old. Personally, I prefer to make it simple. Just go down to the store and get the kind of paper that you like. There are so many colors and so many sizes that there's really no need to start tea-dyeing shit, you know? Just get the kind of paper that most resembles what you want to do, and just put that sucker in your printer and print out the text. And trust me, printing out is the best way to do it. I mean, you could handwrite it for sure, but, well, it takes time, doesn't it? And also,
spell check.
If you decide to tea dye your paper, which is really simple, you just soak it in tea or coffee for a couple of minutes. Just don't write on it beforehand, because most ink will run. And also, make sure it dries properly before writing on it again. And don't put that tea-dyed shit in your printer. That's asking for trouble. When it comes to the envelope, I wouldn't care too much for that. A good way to spice up your envelope is to just use a little bit of red candle wax and just something to make a stamp on it. It could be a ring or just a small coin. But I will tell you this. Do not rely on that wax as a seal. Still seal your envelope tightly to make sure that the invite itself doesn't fall out. I wouldn't bother making your own envelope because envelopes are dirt cheap, and let's face it, who saves the envelope, right? But when you get down to what you're buying, you really want to make sure not only that the paper is the right color and the right size, but also the right thickness. Where was I? But you don't want the paper too thick, because you still want to get that in that printer. And if you don't have a printer at home, you're fucked! No. Then by all means, handwrite it. My suggestion to you, though, is do it in pencil first, and then fill it out with ink. Because that way, if you make a mistake, you can easily fix that. Now you are gonna wanna get your invites out as early as possible, just to make sure that people have enough time to get off work or aren't already invited to something else. And a good thing to keep in mind is that RSVPing shouldn't solely be a guest responsibility. If you come to that date, a certain number of your guests will most likely have RSVP'd, and a certain number will not. Now those that have declined, you can just forget about, but those that have not answered, and also those that have confirmed, you should actually give them a call to make sure they're still coming, or to make sure if they are coming. That way you will get an accurate head count on how many people are coming to your party, if that's what you need for a plated dinner or whatever. And also make the RSVP date not too close and not too far away, because you don't want to make it so far away from the actual party date that, stuff can come up that makes it impossible for half of them to come. Like if you put the RSVP date like a month in advance, odds are a lot of people are gonna have stuff come up that makes it so that they can't come. But if you make it the day before and you get a lot of RSVP people coming, you don't have enough time to prepare if you're getting a larger number than you expected. Another good way to handle invites is to hand them out personally. This makes sure that the person that you want to invite really... Okay, so that was not my fault. Work called, they need me to work. So, yeah. Day 2's episode is gonna be late, too. Because I work. Where was I? Right! Handing out your invitations personally. Now this is not a bad idea. Gives you that special touch where you can do whatever you like. You don't have to worry about any fucking envelope having to contain what you're doing. You can make like a little papyrus roll, tie it with a nice ribbon. But what I think would be an excellent idea here, go down to your local thrift store and you buy little dolls. Make sure they're not too big. Little, old, dirty, nasty looking dolls, because they are creepy as shit. And you tie that invite around their neck with a bow if you want. Personally, I think a hangman's noose might not be bad. And really, anything small, childlike, but worn will do the trick. Personally, this is what I'm doing, and if you're a buff, you'll recognize this as an homage to good old Vincent Price. This is Bad Kitty. This was the invites, and tomorrow, if I don't pass out from working night at the hospital, we're doing costumes.